I was born the 14th of August, 1923. 14th of August, 2013, I will be 90 years of age.
Even at 90 years old, Filmore Alvaranga is sharp as a tack when it comes to his decades-long fight for reparations and repatriation. He remembers dates, names, and events in remarkable detail. This is, after all, his life's work. He's even been awarded the Order of Distinction for Culture.
In 1961, the university recommended a mission to Africa. But before the mission went, Mr. Mandel write the government of England of Harold Macmillan and inform him of sending the mission and ask him if the African government agree to take back their descent in Africa, what financial assistance will Britain give? Hein MacLeod, the colonial secretary, replied by a letter to Mr. Manley that his government will pay the reparation to resettle people back in Africa. Now, my organization name Rastafari Brethren Repatriation Association, because they don't want us to go back to Africa or deal with Africa, they sabotage the Rastafari movements, not knowing that reparation is not for Rasta, it is for all black people whose forefather was brought here a slave. So if they are going to send I back to Africa, they would also have to recompense who staying.
In that same year, 1961, Alvaranga wrote a now famous letter on behalf of the Rastafari Brethren to Queen Elizabeth II, asking England to pay to resettle African descendants in Jamaica back in Africa. That letter is now in both the British and Jamaican archives and reproduced in multiple books on the topic. It is one of many that Alvaranga has written to whoever he thought might listen: the Queen, the British Prime Minister, the Commonwealth, the United Nations, and others. Another attempt was to the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Durban, South Africa in 1999, which was followed by a UN World Conference Against Racism also in Durban in 2001. This was the response.
Himself 250 years, present government cannot made to responsible for what past government have done. So I write a letter and give it to Mr. Howard Ambleton to post to them at the Commonwealth, asking the question if there's an expiry date for any crime.
That's a good question, and one that another Rastafarian advocate would answer with a resounding no. Miguel Lorne is an attorney and also the outspoken founder of the Marcus Garvey People's Political Party in Jamaica. He's taken things a step further than just writing letters. He's sued the Queen, the British government, and the Government of Jamaica for reparations.
In about the year 2000, we brought a case against the Queen of England, myself and Bert Samuels. We brought a case on behalf of some members of the Rastafarian community against the Queen of England upon our visit to Jamaica. And I personally went to King's House to serve the documents on her. Our case was, the rulings of the judge was against us on the basis that we have not established sufficiently that, one, that we were the victims of the atrocities that we speak. Now, clearly, we were not the victims, so we must prove that we are related to the victims of the atrocities. In other words, we must prove that we are Africans. On that basis, a judge ruled against us. That was one of the conditions, that we have not proven that we are Africans. So apparently he wanted us, we should have brought DNA, something, and to show which part of Africa each one of the claimants were from. So the next time we come, we're going to do that. In other words, we're going to eliminate their excuses until they have no more excuses. And therefore will have to give us justice. And here the irony now. They sent the Solicitor General to represent the Queen. The Jamaican government, sent the Solicitor General, who was Michael Hilton, to represent the Queen against us. So the Jamaican people is paying the Solicitor General to fight against us. Now that makes sense? You should, when we sue you, you should say, all right, we understand this lawsuit. We will join you against the British government and the Queen of England. We will join you with that. Or we will see how we can absent ourselves and let you go ahead and fight it against them. They didn't take that approach. They paid the Solicitor General to represent the Queen to counter us. So they are traitors to the cause. And this recent thing what they went on with down in Trinidad the other day to say that the CARICOM governments now endorse reparations, it's just trickery. Because we have a live example of a government who should have joined its people to go against the Queen of England and the British government. They didn't do that. And I'm therefore suspicious. But you know what the Solicitor General said in the case, in the lawsuit? He came to court and he said, we want to settle this thing, we want to get rid of this thing quickly, because this lawsuit is having adverse effects on the relationship between Jamaica and England. But he said, I felt very proud. I said, what? Before, so we should have filed 100. In other words, this is having adverse relationship between you and England, because we are making the British know that not all of us here are beggars, but because you are beggars, you go begging grants, you go begging gifts, you go begging loans, you go to these people as beggars. So for now, when they see some people who are claiming, not begging, it's having adverse effect. We are not beggars, we are claimants. It's a big difference.
Over the years, the Rastafarians have not had much support from the government in their fight for reparations, which is why Lorne is now suspicious of the recent effort to form a regional reparations commission. There have also been other mixed signals. In 2012, during Prince Harry's visit to Jamaica, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller made headlines for announcing that Jamaica was not seeking reparations.
When she said it, and them go back, you know how much calls I get? BBC, this C, another C call me, Mr. Lord, what is your views on reparation? And as I start talking, I say, but your Prime Minister just said she ain't interested. Why are you interested? That's what me getting now. Yes, all of a sudden the whole of them said, we were in Jamaica when your Prime Minister said it, and so on. So I says, oh, well, all right, we'll deal with our Prime Minister. That's the slap in the face she gives, I wonder if she doesn't understand that when she made such a comment when Harry was here. That's disrespectful to all of my work.
But in this year's Emancipation Day address, it was a different story.
It is in the name of these brave ancestors that we call on those who trespassed against them to do the right thing as we in the Caribbean explore all the avenues related to reparation.
So for the Rastafarian community, it has been a protracted battle for justice. For the movement's long-standing champion, Filmore Alvaranga, it's a fight he could have given up, but chose to stay the fort.
So when you went to Nigeria and Ethiopia in the 60s, you were back in Africa. Why didn't you stay?
No, it's a very good question. But righteousness didn't prepare me to stay. because I was on a mission defending poor people in the Western Hemisphere, the CARICOM country in a whole. Then if I desert them, I couldn't be talking about reparation now, and they wouldn't be talking about reparation either. They mother forget it.
Meanwhile, for Lorne, there have been moments in his life that put things into perspective.
In Curacao, we had a reasoning and a discussion. And there was a brother, his name not on my lips right now. You know, reparations is a very heated debate. And those who had gone outside the lecture theatre, outside the room now, continue the discussions and continue the heated argument. And then about half an hour, a lady came in and said, you know, the man who was asking you about the unpaid wages, he just fainted. So I said, fainted? I didn't faint. She said, fall down. He was there arguing with another man, and this other man was defending, he was against reparations, and this brother was for reparations, and they were there heated, very, understand, they were even relatives. So I said, faint. So he'll soon be all right. 10 minutes later, the lady came and says, no, he hasn't gotten up. She's worried. It's been so after somebody came and said, boy, it looked like the man is dead. I said, dead? I mean dead? Dead? I said, dead. So that just made the night different. The man died, you know. He was there, he's so passionate about the reparations that the brother, in his argument with others, he got a heart attack and died. I tell you, the thing was so moving. So I went out there. Others who had left came back now, because they heard the news that the brother died. I just felt that this brother had given his life for the reparations trouble. Because his last act was to have raised the issue of unpaid wages. You know. There are other reasonings regarding reparations that I could tell you, but that is the most dramatic that I have encountered, and why I feel that I have to be even more committed to this work